The deep and dark waters of Scorpio season have swept over the planet like a tsunami of energy in motion, emotion rising to the surface from the spaces and places long ago thrown overboard into the dark, murky waters of our shadow, held in the body, laying dormant in the subconscious mind, the sticky residue. The ghosts of ancient karmic tethers and ties have now made themselves manifest in our material world. These echoes of time gone by can no longer be blocked from our ears or veiled from our eyes. For now is the time of unraveling. The time to understand the rips and tears and wounds that we have endured in a dualistic third density reality based on the foundations of pain and suffering. For the world of separation may have not been ready for your light in a dark and dense world, but you too labeled it shadow. You froze in the darkness and pain. You made it a part of your identity and owned the shame. It is time now to transmute these distortions and transform our greatest weaknesses into our most noble strengths. The bifurcation process is underway, aided by the archetypal energy of Scorpio, the pure potential of the new moon, in conjunction with the totality of the galactic templating and energies. The quickening has begun, and soon the heart and mind will have completed its union, making way for the convergence with higher heart. Are you ready to face your deepest wounds? Find the beauty in the chaos. Unconditionally love yourself across all time and space. Are you ready to disengage the identification with the mind and live soft and strong in the portal of the heart? Are you ready to dredge the depths and look the ghosts in the eye? Finally seeing with clear vision that they were never the monsters we believed them to be. I think you are. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Galactic Energy Report. Hello, beautiful beings of light. Wow, wow, wow. Can we say intensity? I don't know about you, but I have faced a maze of distortions and deep emotional suffering these past few weeks. And I know that the collective is feeling it as I feel the collective. There is so much to talk about. It's been some time since I've done an in-depth session on the energies at large, and now is that time as I've been channeling in profound information regarding the status of our transition into the new earth, fourth density energy. So to recap, as I discussed many times this year, we understood the theme of 2023 to be Trinity, understanding that we were bringing the horizontal line of the the vertical line of the etheric and the horizontal line of the material realm into a state of balance so that we may receive access to the higher heart and integrate it into the foundations of our new material world, our fourth density world, in conjunction with our fifth density consciousness. Understanding that body, mind, spirit, third, fourth, fifth, Trinity, that we may begin building the foundation of our new earth here in the material realm. So this process began with a collective awakening, or the opening of the eyes, in 2020. This was our 0 point. The harvest had been underway since 2012, as that was the move out of our slumber and the slow and steady increase in our vibratory complex. But it came to its culmination in 2020 as we came into our awareness of the dream and the nature of the third density reality we were embodied in. We truly woke up to our programs and conditions, to our abilities to not only create reality, but the unseen forces which were shaping it. 2021 placed the emphasis on body, the body of the self and the material world, coming to terms with the over-identification with third density belief structures and shedding, transmuting, and cording into higher vibrating cords and tethers. These bandwidths began to come online, and we had the capacity to begin cording into them. 2022 became the year of expansion of mind, and with it, balance. Practicing how to unify the heart and mind, how to make sense of this new hero's journey and landscape that we had set forth on, becoming the initiates into the ways of the mystic, reaching for spirit, reaching for third density, or for fifth density. We had access, but very few were able to bring it down into the material. However, through this awakening, through this cording into the new archetypal energy streams that were beginning to show themselves in our dominant resonant frequencies, we were able to build the momentum, the belief that even amidst a world gone wild, new beginnings could be seen. And so that brings us to the now. And now, as we move deeper into the ripples of eclipse season, reach the end of the calendar year of 2023, begin a new year and change of season with Samhain, as we begin and end so many different cosmic cycles simultaneously, we too reach a purification like we have never seen before. And who better to purge us in the fire of transformation than Scorpio? This is a time when we are exploring the fundamental forces of life itself across many lifetimes and putting it into its proper context. We are integrating the totality of who we are on this human journey. And this scorpionic energy is that helpmate. Scorpio is the alchemist, the regenerator, the force of transformation and transmutation. It is all things hidden, buried, and secret. Today, as I'm recording this, is the 11/11 portal, which coincides with the new moon in Scorpio on the 13th, which also sees Mars and asteroid Ceres in Scorpio. Mars giving us the courage and the stamina and the confidence to go into the unknown and uncharted territory. The asteroid Ceres giving us the safety to do so. The container. The new moon symbolizing pure potential, and that is exactly what we are reaching in the totality of our energetic and material bodies. The receipt of Trinity, a purified template, a brand new canvas and clean slate. But before we can get to that, yes, more and more purging and endings have to be complete. Once done, however, we will have gone through this bifurcation process, fully embodied in the fourth density template and unified body, mind, spirit. So now we understand that over the past 3 years, we've been moving through this intense process of awakening. We have been doing our shadow work. We have been facing our dragons. We've been exploring consciousness. We've been moving into a unified mind and heart. But as the year of Trinity began, it seemed like nothing was right and nothing would move and everything was a dead end. Time was speeding up. Yes, multiple retrograding planets. Many things were working in a space and place that gave us this feeling of stagnancy. But we continued on and purged and purified and did more work, and still it felt like we were walking in sludge and mud. Most of us couldn't make sense of any of it. Physical symptoms have plagued us. Feedback loops played on. Tears flowed, and yet we carried on. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Letting go, softening, humbling ourselves, breaking down to break through. This is what our year was ultimately about. And it has brought us to this moment. This moment where we are now confronted with the last vestiges of our former selves, our experiences, our traumas, our identification with the body and the mind. And now whatever is coming up for you is the finale. We must own this loop once and for all so that we may break free through the process of bifurcation and experience a paradigm shift. So, to understand this bifurcation process, we must understand that as we have been doing the work through 2023, we have been getting these massive pulses and downloads of light. All of our bodies have been filtering this down and trickling into our physical body as we diamondize and crystallize our light body into the physicality of this material world. We have to be able to hold the consciousness we are carrying. And in order to step truly into the fourth density, all of our bodies have had to go through this transformation. So if we were to look at this through an energetic lens, of course we have been stagnated this year. We have been increasingly speeding up our dominant resonant frequencies through these upgrades, through the shedding, through these transmutations. We are no longer coherent with the frequencies we are swimming in. We have become decoherent and are now on the edge of this once stable state, which was third density, and splitting off into the next state, fourth density. If you think of the Earth's field of consciousness as a salad dressing that's been shaken up through this process, we are moving and rising to the top. We are the oil, and the remainder of consciousness will be in its own layer of vinegar at the base once it all settles. But the oil and the vinegar are a part of one dressing, one salad dressing. But once stilled, the oil must have its own layer. And even when shaken, it can't merge with the vinegar. And that is what's happening to us on this energetic level. We were shaken up, and now we are rising into our own coherent energy stream and blueprinted templating of fourth density, holding the grid so that others may now cord their way in. As we are the Gridkeepers, we are the Wayshowers, the Wanderers, the Harbingers of light. So we are the first. And we are, in essence, through this bifurcation process, creating an entirely new layer of reality. From a physical perspective, okay, if we look at it through the physical lens, we are becoming a new species. It's been akin to growing a new organ. So if you were to take on another heart, your old body couldn't remain the same, could it? That is what has been happening. We are merging with our higher selves and birthing that into a fourth density reality. We are coming online to the higher heart chakra and pulling that into our energetic, yes, but our physical bodies, merging with the higher self. And this process is painful. We call them upgrades, and they are, but growth is not a fun process. If you think back to your childhood when you had a growth spurt, how incredibly painful that was. So now if you add into that ongoing process, is readying for the bifurcation which is happening now and these surges of light, we had an amplification occur on November 4th. So not only did Saturn begin to station retrograde, the Sirians arrived and surged us with this liquid light. It was like a lightning bolt to the nervous system. And in conjunction with the momentum of the scorpionic energies, it pushed up any vestiges of our third density traumas and wounds across many, many lifetimes. Why? Because we are literally splitting off from this old world now. Our consciousness can no longer live in a reality in which it is decoherent. It cannot be so. Our dominant resonant frequencies now must begin to create this new operating system, this new abundance matrix, born out of the lack matrix, which we have been experiencing for eons. But before we can break free into the next spiral, finally break out of the feedback loops that have been especially prominent over the last 7 years, we have to look at the collective pathologies, our personal pathologies, our programs, our beliefs about self and others. And we need to get it sorted out with our new vibratory state. We need to see our past for what it was, a state of being in which we were moving through at that space and place in time. And that can create some cognitive dissonance until we understand that all of it is truth. All of it is. And it was valid based on the lens of awareness that we were viewing it from or through at that time. I really like the analogy of the apartment building. If you're living on the basement floor at street level and you look out your window, you might hate everything about your space and place. You might see dirt and filth and trash and poverty and crime out your front window. But if you are living in that same building on the top floor, you might look out your front window and see the treetops and a beautiful view of the water and the sky beyond. And you may see birds flying and feel the sun shining on your face and think that your home was akin to heaven. Both of these experiences are true. They both hold the same weight. The idea with what we are facing now is to understand that we have already lived in that basement apartment. We don't have to move back down into it. We can view it and see it and understand it and integrate it with our new lens of awareness and see that it served its purpose. That the trees and water were always there, the birds and the sun. We just didn't have the awareness from the level of consciousness we were moving through. And we don't have to identify with the feelings of blame and shame and guilt we felt for being there. This is how we close out these loops, by looking at these ghosts and realizing that they are phantom pains. They no longer resonate. They are no longer in coherence. They are not and never were who we are. And through this process of transformation and transmutation, we are strengthening the momentum of our new frequency and body with the fusion of the heart and mind, the balancing of masculine and feminine energies within us. Now we begin to build the foundations of this new earth that we have been dreaming into existence. So, how long? I mean, that's what we all want to know. Like, how long does this take and what's happening next? Well, this process of bifurcation, of integrating the higher heart, of stepping fully into the fourth density reality is going to take a few months. And for some, it may take several years, depending on how much integration have you been able to complete over the past 3 years? And also, how much of a karmic load and pain body are you carrying? So this isn't a race, and everyone has their own unique template and pre-incarnational contracts that they are working with. So it is really varied, dependent on so many factors that your unique blueprint and templating carries. But next year is going to be the year of harmony, of bringing it all together. So we will be seeing some shifts directly. You will know through the remainder of the month and feeling it now and through the new moon and several days after, really intensely up until the 15th, which residual karmic residue has surfaced. You will come into the awareness during this period of time what is still there. And you will be able to look at it from this top floor view of your new dominant resonant frequency. And you will hug the version of yourself that saw it from the basement, no longer wishing to push it away. You will have a desire for movement. You will be ready to take charge of the situation, the belief, the addiction, whatever it is, and face it. What was subconsciously controlling you will be illuminated. There is no other choice. And you will become more and more aware of just how far you've come when you are no longer tempted to become identified with it. As always, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others. Know that no one is being left behind. We are all just running at our own pace. We all have ghosts and demons and phantom pains. There is no shame in it. We all lived in the basement. It is all source. It is consciousness experiencing itself. And we are all on this journey together. So, from my big beating heart to yours, I'm sending you all big, 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 big love. Bye.
Just wanted to say I love ya. Scully loves ya. Bye.